Let me tell you what's going on in the last 48 hours. Because a lot of people think, well, we've got some time. We've got some time. We can regroup. We can figure out what we're going to do. I suggest we figure out what we're going to do on the fly. Because here's what happened in the last 48 hours. Besides the president-elect, Mr. Unity, calling us all terrorists. Apple threatened a private company with cancellation if they did not begin censoring conservative speech. Parler is the name of the company that has been threatened. Parler is an alternative social media outlet that does not censor free speech, that does not censor debate, that encourages conservatives and freedom-loving Americans to speak with each other and about what they care about. And Apple just threatened to cancel them. And that was after Google already did. Now, that's 48 hours. You have organizations demanding that corporations fire people who went to a protest. Fire them. Fired for protesting. We are this close to fascism, people. You have the soon-to-be President Unity administration talking about having DHS put protesters on no-fly lists. You want to travel freely? You better walk and toe the line. That's where we are today. You have the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, which pretends to be a news organization, calling on Ron Johnson, Tom Tiffany, everyone in Scott Fitzgerald, and everyone who stood up to demand an investigation and an audit of this last election, demand they step down in an editorial. You have left-wing organizations demanding that companies essentially create policies that would prohibit anybody from defending the things that President Trump stood for. Well, let's go over what President Trump stands for. Free markets, free people, free choices, excellence, opportunity, the ability to succeed. Your choice is what he stands for. Your choice to succeed or your choice to fail. But it's your choice. You want to know? They want to make a choice for you, and the choice is failure. Why do they hate us? Why do you think they hate us? Anyone got an idea? I think I know. Because they don't believe in freedom. They're stupid. They went to for the last 30 years in the K-12 public school system, which is doing nothing more than an indoctrination factory, and every single one of your kids is poisoned by it. Every single one of your children has been poisoned by that. Do what you can to give them the antidote every single day. Let me tell you why they hate us. Because we believe in God.
And family.
And family and freedom. Don't say they believe in God, family, and freedom. Here's what I think it is. They look in the mirror, these elites, these self-anointed elites, who don't do anything, do they? They're just powerful. They didn't build anything. They didn't produce anything. They didn't work. Did they? And they look at you, and they say, he built something, she opened up a business, he produces products, whatever it might be. And they don't want to have to reckon with the fact that they did none of that. And they can't abide you demanding to be heard because they like their power. They like sitting fat and happy, but they feel bad about it. And so they need you to shut up. They need you to shut up and sit down and put on your blanking mask. They need you to stick out your arm and get your vaccine. They need you to just simply do what you're told. That's what they want. And that is because they want to avoid having to confront the failure, their own failure, to do anything meaningful that means anything even remotely approximating American. They didn't accomplish an American dream like a lot of you did. They didn't work hard enough to do it. It was handed to many of them. And they accuse you of privilege. I got news for you folks, it's not just the Democrats who hate your guts and hate my guts and hate Trump's guts, is it? No, it's not. You have an awful lot of Republicans who jumped ship. Who listened to President Trump's speech? Raise your hand if you listened to his speech. Did anybody think anything sounded like inciting violence in that speech? No. I thought it was a pretty good speech. In fact, he did tell you not to be violent. There was no incitement of violence. Well, what is the gaslighting now of everyone? You're nuts. You didn't think he incited violence. You didn't think that was Trump inciting violence. What's the matter with you? You must be crazy. Universally, the Republican elite establishment, and I don't really like to use the word establishment because it's been overused, but this is an establishment. This is an institutionalized Republican power base that, when threatened, will close ranks and join with the left to crush you and me. And so everybody at the same time, I don't care if it's Mitt Mulvaney, Betsy DeVos, Mike Pence. Mike Pence? Mike Pence used to be a talk radio guy. What the hell happened to Mike Pence?
They got to him.
Lindsey Graham. And the list goes on.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, Ben Sasse, and the list goes on.
Tom Cotton.
So, it's not just the left that loathes you and loathes me and loathes what we stand for, which is planting a flag for the American dream and the American idea and standing up for the blood that has been spilled over the course of the entire history of this unique nation, unique among all nations. They don't want to have to listen to us. That's why every time elections roll around, you hear the platitudes. But when the rubber meets the road, let's walk back to when the House was controlled by Republicans.
Paul
and
Ryan.
when the Senate was controlled by Republicans. And Mr. Donald J. Trump was President of the United States. And what did every single one of those Republicans run on? Repeal Obamacare. Repeal Obamacare. How do we do on that? Repeal Obamacare. Slam dunk, spike the football, whatever sports analogy you want to use. We had the majority. We gave them the authority in the majority to get rid of that law. And what do they do?
Paul Ryan.
John McCain.
Lying.
John McCain.
Lying. All of them. Lying. Again. Not first time. Why am I mad about it? I've been lied to for as long as I can remember. But for the first time, we had a guy who we found out wasn't lying. Did what he said he was going to do. So it's not just the Democrats. It's our people.
The hell happened to Judge Hagedorn?
Hagedorn.
Yeah, boo.
By the way, I would love to see him recalled. Obviously, that's an aside. We want to do, if this happens, it has to be done. There has to be money behind it. I want to see
You
that.
know what? We should do it.
I want to see that guy thrown out of his ass.
You're maxed out. Well, that's you can't. I know because they're not elected.
I put my reputation on the line for him. I put everything on the line for that guy. My entire credibility.
We should do that.
I put on the line, and a lot of people put their paychecks on the line for that guy, and he lied. And he lied, and he got us to believe him by using God. That's what makes me mad.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what makes me mad.
That's so
Don't
true.
con me by using God, by tricking me into making me believe that you are a believer, somebody who is a believer, and a believer in the American idea that is one nation under God. This now apparently is one nation and God under Hagedorn in Wisconsin and the liberal majority of the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Ooh.
Listen, folks, we're the dissidents. 74 million of us, half the country. We're now dissidents, and they are going to close ranks really fast. The fascism is not going to come slowly. You are going to wake up and maybe find out that somebody's been spying on you on your Facebook page, and your employer got a phone call about this is going to happen. People of faith expect to see basic Christian doctrine redefined as hate speech. It is bad, and it is going to be getting worse. And so we have to recognize that this is not going to be an easy fight. And it's no more sending emails to our state representatives and asking politely to please honor your campaign promises. Now, I know not everybody can do this kind of thing, but it has to be a demand at this point. And it has to be at all levels. It can't just be Congress. Congress, I'm going to tell you something. If there were a way for a top-down solution to work, Trump would have figured it out. We are not going to be able to have a top-down solution. And so what you're going to have to do is do what you can to demand that you govern yourself. It can be a school board. It can be a town board. It can be county board. Everybody who thinks that all of this stuff has to happen at the congressional or Senate level or gubernatorial level or even at the state assembly or state senate level, we have long abandoned our responsibility, our duty at this level. Don't ask for your kids to go back to school. Demand it. And if they reject your demand, go find 5 more parents and demand it again. And if they reject your demand, go find 10 more parents and do this. Organize and demand. It can be as simple as getting 5 or 6 people together once a week and learning a little bit about your local government. How many of you know how your budget works at the local level? Yeah, not many, right? So how about you get together with 5 or so people, you crack a couple of beers or maybe pour a few old fashions and assign. This is, you're going to look at the budget. You're going to look at the school board budget. You're going to look at the county board budget. You're going to look at the town board budget. Look at the budget. Learn about it. And now you know something. And now you can actually help and maybe even run for office yourself. There are 2 school board candidates who are going to be on this stage and 1 county board candidate who are going to be on this stage who recognize what the left learned long ago. And that is, in order to grow your movement, you do not grow anything from the top down. It all grows from the bottom up. And they have long recognized the value of local government to expand their reach. It is going to take us some time to undo this. It may be difficult. People are going to get hurt. And I don't mean physically hurt. People are going to get hurt. You're going to have friends who walk away from you, stop speaking to you. Some people might be harassed at their jobs. People will try to get you fired. It's not going to be easy. But you know what wasn't easy? Founding this country in the first place.
Amen.
That wasn't easy. Freedom is never easy. And we got so comfortable for so long living the good life that we started to believe that it was somebody else's responsibility to defend it. It was somebody else's responsibility to join the military, right? Somebody else's responsibility in Congress. I don't have to pay attention to what's going on in my local community. It's not my responsibility. Somebody else's. Look where we are. By thinking it was okay to offload our obligations to someone else. And the easiest, most easy to understand example right now, think of how bad it got because so many parents in America were willing to offload their responsibility to raise their children to the public schools. And they're raising your kids all right. So I'll say this in closing. It's the beginning of the end of this war. We decide how it ends, though. Just because this has been going on a long, long time and we're in a final battle doesn't mean we lost. There's more of us. We love this nation. And if people actually come together and recognize their own responsibilities, and don't wait around for me or Meg or somebody else to figure this stuff out for you, do it yourselves. When you go home today, think of 5 people you can call over next week and start talking about this, and then get together, individual groups. Oh, we got a group. No, we got a group. And by the way, while you're doing this, start with a prayer. Start with a prayer. And you will be able, we will be able to stop this. Maybe not before we die, but to make sure sure our kids have the America that we grew up in, that gave us all of this that we have been able to take advantage of. And let me just close by saying, I am grateful to have been born in the freest, greatest country in the history of any civilization, and I am not willing to go gently into that good fascism. Thank you very much.